Okay, and this time on Custom Works, we're going to see if that cool 60s motorbike fits on the back of the 60s truck. You know what? If it doesn't fit, we'll lose the shop. But if it does fit, it'll be a massive victory. Also, we're going to catch up on what's going on with the Meat Wagon, and let me tell you, nothing there is pretty. Let's get to the workshop. There's only this one side. It's like being at the American Adventure.
Mate, that is amazing. You spun me out because I knew it was going to be further ahead than obviously we see on the telly, but it's like, okay, wasn't expecting that.
And
oh, what?
Everything's on remote. The suicide door.
No.
Yeah, have a try it.
I'm loving this tea.
Oh, is it? Okay then, so we're going to get the bike out of the van. I'm going to see if it fits on the back of the truck. If we're like just...
And you push on this sissy bar?
Yeah.
Right. Hold it there.
So what we've got to do here, obviously the bike, we don't want it hanging out too much, so we're going to bring it into the cab. So obviously I'm going to have to cut quite a lot of the cab away. So I'm going to cut from the window down, both sides, and then we can move the bike in, and it will sit in its sort of resting place. So let's get to the sawzall, get it chopped out. It is very rare that anything just goes quite this well. Look at that, the bike fits, it goes in there, it's just as we'd imagined it. I just can't believe it. I'm over the moon. This is, up to this point, this is a win. so the bike goes on and off and fits pretty good. But what we didn't want is to have to push it up the ramp to get it on. We want to ride up, it goes click, and you get off, and then everything's on a remote control as far as loading the bike. So you can load it truly on your own as a real one-man job. Well, we've got a little bit closer to that because hot rod building legend Lee Cox has now built this like sled that fits in here. And this sled is on sort of bearing wheels down there to stop it coming off. It's on the bottom sort of, is it a chassis on a roller boot? But that is a roller blade is under there, so this can't pull off. And this is where we're going to have a bracket to a latch just here, using a bear claw latch, that's going to latch to the front of the bike on some special machined parts. So you'll ride it in, it clicks in here, and then this slides up. And just in case you think, well, that was eloquently described, but I've no idea what you're on about, here's a demo right now. Right, and so this sled, it sits in here, the bike wheel goes on, and at the moment we've got it cable tied to here, and then this is pulled up the ramp by this winch. These will be like a bear claw latch, or the bear claw bit that goes in the latch on a car door, and we'll have the bear claw latches on a bracket here. So all you have to do is roll the motorbike up this small bit and click. It's in, and that's going to hold the bike upright and on here. After that, it's all just buttons on the remote control to load the bike onto the back of the pickup. So let's have a look how that would work now. Okay then, so at the minute, obviously we've not got the bear claw thing on, so I have got to hold the bike up. But here it is, being pulled up the ramp and onto the back of the truck.
You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good.
So as you can see, I did no pushing there, nothing, I just steadied it. I won't even need to steady it when it's finished. So let's just see, once more, it lifts the bike and drops the bike in, and we've moved it a little bit further forward. This bit is almost silent.
You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me. You're looking good, shout it good, show enough good enough for me.
And there we go, the bike is on the back of the truck. Now, we brought it into the cab a bit, so we didn't have to have a oddly long rear, and hopefully we can make the ramp on this a little bit shorter. We can take all this bit of ramp off. What that gives us is a lot more flexibility with the styling we're going to do to the rear of the truck. So don't forget, we want them four bunny ears, like wings, and then something nice at the back. I'm thinking maybe Continental kit, but all that will be part of the mechanisation of this. Everything will fold down, this will come out, drop the bike down, you can go off on your bike, come back, clips on, folds up, all at the push of a couple of buttons. Just so that everything is super nice, super easy, and super smooth operation. And you know what, it's really getting there. But it's been a hell of a lot of work. And also, the interior is going to be interesting as well. So now I'm inside, and we can see inside the winch sits next to the driver and this wheel, and this has all got to be sort of encased in here so we're not just open to the elements. However, if I sit here and pretend there's a steering wheel, it doesn't get in my way or anything, and just here can be a nice sort of snazzy armrest. So there's work to do there, nothing impossible, nothing really that difficult, just a nice fiberglass housing around this just to keep the cold out. But it is looking good. One thing we are going to do, this is really tight against the seat, and we're just going to watch the seat over that way just a little bit. And also just to show, this is how all that works. So we've got a remote unit, we've got a voltage stepper here that steps 12 to 36 volts just to work some of the actuators a little bit quicker. Lots of relays, lots and lots of relays, and of course everything through a circuit breaker. So we are super safe there. It's not going to burn the car down. But really, there's a lot of wiring, and there's going to be a lot more wiring and a lot more things on this, a lot more electrics that we're going to have to put in. But that's just the way it is to get things to work like that. Okay, so we've got to do a lot of work underneath the Meat Wagon, so let's get it on the lift. And just to show just how low this is and how hard it is going to be to get this on this ramp. Look at this! This is 0 ground clearance. Right, and getting the Meat Wagon on the lift was not easy at all. In fact, it was really, really difficult. And you know, it only just proves that, you know, we've got it up there to build this frame so it can be easily, you know, easily lifted. It really, really needs it, because having a car that hard to lift just isn't right. The Meat Wagon, I know when we put that paint on it all looked together, but seriously, the whole fiberglass kit went on. There was no bracing for the running boards and stuff. There was no sort of finish between the original taxi sort of frame and sort of mud prevention bits, you know, the rear arches, the front arches. Obviously all of that had gone. So what I've spent the best part of a week doing here is patching up all the holes, glassing all the bits that are going to scrape on the ground, and also building quite a substantial frame to hold those running boards, and, you know, just to make the whole thing solid and, you know what, like a real car underneath. This is something you've always got to be really careful with. A lot of people will do a body swap and the car looks great and that's it, hits the road. Get underneath it though, and nothing joins. It's a lot of like closing strips, you see. So let's have a look at this, see what we've done. So then, first thing at the front, this is where the front bumper of the taxi is, which remains in because it's the fixing point for the two front fenders. But also, I've made good between the front fiberglass bumper and right back to here, and this is all glassed in, all up in these arches. We've glassed right the way up, made sure everything connects, no water can get out of here. We've made a front to the arch, which was, of course, all gone because we'd removed the taxi body. And same on the other side, lots of dye bond stuck in. And then these two side rails. So we put these down both sides of the car. They're welded to the chassis. They go along here. They've got these brackets that come out and hold the running board. And don't forget, the running board's got some 3x2 timber glassed inside there, so we've got a really strong fix in there. What this is designed for, if you're running this car on full drop and cruising along, you can literally skid on these. They are so welded in. They're mounted to they're welded back to the original body mounts of the taxi, to the frame. These are super strong. And of course, these serve a double purpose. So then these, yes, they serve a great purpose, protecting the running boards, but also, and this is something well worth thinking about when you're making an extremely low car, where you're going to jack it up from. If it's got to go to a garage, will they be able to get it on the ramp? And this now can. You've got to just jack the air up at the back. I think the front would probably need the trolley jack under it just for a second. But then these swing in, there's a good spot for them to sit on, nicely spaced front and back, so it lifts the whole vehicle nice and safe. And of course, because we knew we were going to have this up for well over a week, we put acros in as well, just to make sure everything's super safe. The back of this, where this bumper is, has been a living hell of fiberglassing. So much upside down fiberglassing on here. This has got to be, and it is, it's like rock now. This is designed now to drag in the road. Great thing about fiberglass, it will just drag in the road. It won't like snag and catch and break things. And this bit is designed to drag. So strong, so many layers of fiberglass, and now I've ground it all back so it's about right, and I'll black all under here and just black as everything I can. And also I've done quite a lot of work inside the van as well. Right, and so now I think for the first time we're in the Meat Wagon. This is the actual inside. It's quite roomy. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But of course, there was massive holes in the floor. You know, it's got them big jewellery wheels under the back. So we made these boxes. These boxes, they're to keep all the water out, made in dye bond and then covered in fiberglass. So unlike the wheel arches on the taxi, I think these should last a little bit longer. The ones on the taxi were just literally like brown dust. But they're in. And then we've got these bits that look like wheel arches, but they're actually covering where the airbags are mounted. And then there's your galley through the middle for moving around when you're doing whatever cooking is. So, all of that is done. What we're going to do today is paint the entire underside of the car black. And what I'm going to be using is a polyurethane skip paint. And it's just dead easy, dead simple, just skip paint. So let's get some skip paint underneath the wagon. And here it is, all finished, everything painted black. It's like the bottom 6 inches of the car has been dipped in a bath of black. Thin the polyurethane paint down, just with a bit of normal thinners to get it through the gun. Blow it all on there. It's a very cold day today, so this is all still really wet. But once this is dry, we're moving on to making a killer exhaust for this. So that'll be on sometime in the future, I think. Okay, and so that's about it for this week. Don't forget, press all of them buttons, subscribe, leave comments, and most important of all, buy a t-shirt from our Etsy store or a sticker. You might want to buy both, or maybe just the one. Buy 2. Buy them for your friends, family, wife, daughter, girlfriend, brother, sister, whoever you want. Anyway, that's the ad over. Thank you all very much, and good night.